Hello and welcome to the back nine of the second round of the Magic City Mega Bowl for 2018. We're at George Ward Park, and on our card we've got Cameron Coldblazer, Chris Dickerson, Colin Forehand, and Nick Masters. Chris, if you didn't watch the front nine, he's really pulling together a great round. He's at -5, and everyone else is going to be sitting at -3 for the round. Chris and Cam came into the event with a slight lead, 1 stroke over Colin and 2 over Nick. And we're heading into hole 10, 370 feet. Goes down the hill, then back up. But Colin, he's turning it over. But he's actually going to be in a great spot, able to attack the basket. Chris, he's going to go back to his F1. Flips over a little bit out of the hand, goes straight and fades left. Also maybe not exactly where he wants to be, but he's a great putter. He's gonna have a chance to make that. And Nick, he's been really confident with his forehand this round. He's gonna be similar distance to where Colin is. And Cam, he's throwing it straight at it with his Glow H3 V2, and he hits off the front of the basket and catches a horrible roll. That was one of the best shots I've seen in a while. Comes right in front of the basket and hits, catches a horrible roll, but he's still putting. He's still looking to get that too. And Colin, he's putting fairly up the hill. Makes a great putt, catches the right side of the chains. He had to put quite a bit of loft on it to get it up to the basket. He's going to be happy with making that birdie. And Chris, he's going to be off to the left along with Cam. Ended up in very similar spots. He makes a step putt on the left side of the basket. It's a great putt from Chris, just outside the circle. And Cam's going to be up next. After catching the roll, he squeaks it in the basket. Almost got the ace, but at least he got the 2. And Nick throwing the forehand, he's going to be close to the basket and in the best position to get a birdie. But he misses his putt low for the birdie. He's going to be the only one on the card missing out on hole 10. But we're heading into hole 11. More attackable, a little bit of a shorter hole, but it is more technical and it is quite uphill. But like I said, it's only 272 feet, so definitely doable. And these guys are mostly going to be throwing mid-ranges, as Chris is doing here. He's going to throw a flip-up mid-range shots, but he catches early branches and kicks it out short to the left. He's going to be in a tough position. Just 40 feet, but harshly uphill, so it's a tough putt to hit. Cam throws this low, but it fights up to the basket to about 30 feet. And Nick, going back to that same forehand disc, he's going to skip right up by the basket. He is right next to it. We unfortunately missed Colin's drive. A little bit of technical issues, but he's going to be within about 25 feet of the basket. And Chris, not excited with that effort, missed it short of the basket. Cam as well, he's missing short left. It's tough to consider that uphill shot and to put enough power behind it. But Colin, he's above the basket, so he's able to putt downhill, maybe a little bit easier. And Nick, he's just able to tap out with his driver. So is Chris, but unfortunately for the par. Cam, he's also going to tap out for his par, so our two leaders were not able to convert on hole 11. We're going into hole 12, which is a similar distance, maybe a little bit longer at 280. Again, has that same kind of valley feel where it goes down the hill and back up. But one of the more technical shots of the round so far. A lot of these guys are going to be throwing putters or mids. I believe that's a putter from Colin. He's going to end up a little bit short, but Colin's a great putter. He'll hopefully be able to make that. Nick's gonna throw his shot too low, but he gets a skip. He's actually not in a horrible spot. And Chris, he's gonna throw his 750 M2 out to the right side, fades left, skips right behind the basket. That's a great shot from Chris. Cam, hoping to imitate that shot, cuts it in a little bit earlier, but that's still a great line. He's going to be a little bit short left, but within about 20 to 15 feet of the basket. And Nick, going to be the furthest out, makes a great putt, squeaks it over the cage, and he'll be happy with that. Colin just a little bit closer. We're in tester range. He makes good on that putt. And we're going to have 2 long putts already made on the hole. And then Cam's a little bit closer. He's only 15 to 20 feet from the basket. He makes his as well, and Chris is very close. I can't see him missing this putt, so we're going to have all 4 players on the card carding a birdie on hole 12. Hole 12, very attackable, very easy to get if for these top-level guys. However, hole 13 may be the toughest hole in the course. There is OB all the way down the left side. It's one of the longer par 3s on the course, and there's a late mandatory on the right side that you must go the left of. So Colin, he's gonna throw it low here. Got a good line on it. You can see the top of the basket to the right side of your screen, but he's gonna be short. And Nick gets a little bit more height, but maybe not quite enough, and he's also going to be in the middle, but just not where he wants to be. Chris, he's going to throw a very straight shot, but threw a little bit too far left of the basket. He's going to be in the brush. He's going to be a jump putt away from the basket. Cam turns over his shot. You can see he's coming into play with the mandatory, and actually he misses it. He will go the drop zone, that orange paint you can see, putting for 3. And Nick, he's going to jump putt / throw his to the right side of the basket. And Cam, he barely missed the mando, but he's able to convert on his 3. That's a great putt from about 30 feet. Unfortunately, missed his drive off the tee, but he only took 2 shots, and he played the hole very well. And Chris, in a tough position, he's forced to lay up. And speaking of tough positions, Colin, he's going to have to reach out around the branches, but he sinks the putt. It was a very good putt to go around the branches unfazed. And Chris and Nick, they're going to have tap-ins for their 3s, I believe. And everyone's going to take a 3. Everyone takes a 2 on hole 12, and everyone takes a 3 on hole 13. Like I said, hole 13, very tough. Very, very tough to birdie it. And hole 14 is a very forehand-friendly hole down the hill. It's 332 feet. Fading right the whole way. You can't quite see it from this camera angle, but Colin, he's gonna trust his backhand to get by the basket, and that's a great shot. He's gonna be just past it, but he'll be very happy with that shot. And Nick, he's gonna throw a forehand, throw something very overstable, gets that skip too, and he's gonna be just to the left of the basket, but definitely a tester putt. Chris throws his lower and inside, and he catches those bushes. He's going to be a tough position. He's going to have to get low to get under the branches for his next shot. Cam throws a very similar line to Nick. That looks great. A little bit short, actually. He's going to be definitely a tough putt for his next shot. Chris runs the basket and goes quite a bit past. That could be a problem for a comebacker, and Cam, he's got a 35-foot, slightly downhill putt. Hits right in the middle. That was a great putt. He'll be He's catching up to Chris now. The score's a little bit more packed than they were a few holes ago, as we get another look of Cam's great putt. Very smooth, right in the middle of the basket. And Nick, he's going to be a similar distance to the left of the basket. And again, he's going to hit the front of the cage. He's going to take his 3. Nick definitely missing a few putts this round, but his forehand's been on point, as Colin makes a great putt. So does Chris. And Nick's going to tap out. Hole 14, kind of a blind shot, so it's tough to get down there and putting for birdie, but Cam and Colin showing us how it's done. And hole 15 is significantly easier than hole 14. It's fairly wide open, and it's more backhand friendly, which is most of these guys' preferred throw. 304 feet, wide open in the field. However, there is this creek running through the fairway that is OB if you are surrounded by water. But Colin not worried about that, throwing his A2 out to the right and puts it within a foot of the basket, absolutely parks it. Cam looking to do the same, hangs it out wide, but he threw something stable, and he'll be within 20 feet. That's a great shot. Nick, he's going to throw a backhand mid-range. He tests the creek. He is safe on the side of the bank. He's going to be in a tough position, though. Unlikely birdie. And Chris throws a floaty putter shot, gets it within 15 feet. Like I said, Nick's going to be in a tough position. This is a uphill putt, but he sinks it. That's a very impressive putt from Nick there. Chris, a little bit of a tester putt. It's about 20 feet. It's definitely missable if he loses concentration, but puts it right in the middle of the basket. It's a great putt. Cam, he's very close. Not going to take much time on this. He's going to take his 2. And Colin can just place it in the basket. Although a little reluctant to do so. Hole 15 yields all 4 birdies on the card. And we've got Chris and Colin at -8 for the round. Through 15 holes, they're really tearing up this course. As we're going into hole 16, 267 feet. Another blind shot with a Mando to the right. Colin's going to take the box. He's really shooting well right now. He's going to be too far left of the basket, but still within putting range. Cam, he's going to take a little bit wider to the right with a H1 V2. He's going to be very close to the basket. And Nick, he's going to throw a little bit of a higher line, but a little bit too high. Catches the branch, and he's well short of the basket. And Chris, he's going to throw a low hyzer, trying to get close to the basket. Looks like a very good shot. Nick, the furthest away, he's going to have to throw a fairly long upshot to get to the basket. And Colin's going to be the furthest one away that's actually putting, but he misses low. Maybe a little bit disappointed with that effort. And Chris, he's about 25 feet, slightly downhill. Gives it a lot of height, drops into the bottom of the basket. He's going to take his birdie. Put him at -9 for the round with 2 holes left. And Cam, staying almost right on par with Chris. He's going to be -8 for the round. They started the round tied, and Nick, he's going to make a great putt for his par. And Colin maybe a little bit more disappointed. He's going to tap out for his par. And hole 17 that we're coming up on is maybe one of the most interesting holes on the course. A little bit technical. It's very short, very downhill. As you can see, these guys are going to go down this left gap. And the forehand's definitely the popular play. As Cam's going to swing his out to the right, throw something very stable, and he lands just short of it, as you can see there. And Chris, he's going to go to the backhand with his PA4. Throws it really high, but it drops just along the basket, throws it very straight. That was a great shot. And Colin's going to throw that red PA1 he's been throwing, but he hits the first tree right off the fairway, and he's going to be safe from out of bounds, but well off to the left. Nick is going to give that an ace run. That was a great shot. Just goes just past the basket, a little bit over it, throwing that high forehand. And Colin, he's going to be a little bit further away than he wants for his par. This is 25 feet for his three. Hits the cage, but it bounces in. He's gonna walk away with the par, and everyone's gonna be closer for their birdie putt. Nick up next, from about a little bit outside 20 feet. Hits the lower side of the basket. It's a great putt. And Chris is just gonna be a little bit closer. Although the forehand was probably the most popular favorite shot, Chris was able to finesse a backhand down there. And Cam's going to clean his up, even though he threw it a little bit short. And we're going to go into hole 18. Hole 18 is a little bit longer of a hole. A lot of these guys are going to be throwing fairway drivers at it. And as you see Cam's doing here, he's throwing the straight shot. But there's also a hyzer play that we could see someone take here, and Cam's going to throw his H3V2. And again with that disc, he's throwing it to the left, but he hits the tree, and he's actually putting near the green. He's definitely in contention for birdie. And Chris, he's throwing his F5, I believe. He's going to throw it on a hyzer, but he turns it over more than he likes. He's going to be outside the circle of putting, but not too far, only about 45 feet. But Nick, he's going to go with the big hyzer I was talking about, and he puts it within 3 feet of the basket. That's a great shot from him. And Colin, he's going to throw a low flex shot, and a little bit off towards the end of the round. He hits that tree. He's going to have a longer upshot, and he leaves that really wide, and he's going to be a tough putt for par. Maybe taking a bogey on the last hole, we'll have to see. But Chris, he's going to end his round on a good note with a long 50-foot jump putt. That's a great putt from Chris. Cam just a little bit closer, but under these trees. He's also going to make that putt. Cam and Chris making their putts throughout the round, throwing great drives. They played very well. Speaking of making putts, Colin was very solid on the putting green, and Nick's going to tap out for his birdie, and everyone having a good round at George Ward. Round scores at -10, -11, -8, and -8. Everyone's staying fairly close after round 2. After 18 holes for the round. Cam at -10, as I said, for the round, and -23 total. Chris at 24 under par. Colin, -20, and Nick, he's going to be 19 under par for the event. And really appreciate you guys watching. We weren't able to catch the final round, but I really hope you enjoyed watching this coverage of the Magic City Mega Bowl. Thanks for watching, and